PG. Sophisticated. Finals, baby. Finals. This is literally, I'm not even playing the game. I'm not even, this is not the shtick. This is going to be fast. This is going to be quick. Zero prep. One game to talk about. Last week happened, came, it went. Kenton steamrolled the Fist. Steamrolled them. That was an epic beatdown. It's pathetic and disgusting, and that's about all we need to say about it. Good for you, Kenton. And then the other game was a tighter one. You don't like the oranges? Well, sorry, babe. Have a banana. The other game was closer. Somewhat of a disappointing, production-wise, it was disappointing for both guys, I'm sure, but a win's a win. I mean, if you're Reggie, you're taking that to the bank. Obviously, first time in the finals for Reggie. I think it's the first time in the finals for Kenton, too. I honestly didn't do any homework for this, but either way, there's definitely going to be a new champion in the Pure Guts landscape, which is fantastic. It's great for the league. So I've texted both the guys. I was hoping to get them both on for a quick interview. Haven't written down any questions, just totally going off the cuff, but neither have replied yet. I know Reggie's ready. Reggie's like waiting beside his phone. So yeah, like a father to be waiting for that call that he's got to go to the hospital. That's like Reggie right now. So I know he'll be ready. I'll quickly go through this game. Anyways, back to that game with Tupper and Reggie last week. The champ, you can't pull out a victory in the 120s in the semifinals. I mean, I think Reggie did technically, but that was just luck, Like, you're not going to win. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose unless you're scoring 130 and above in that deep into the playoffs. Two great teams, epic matchup. But anyways, Tups, got yourself a ring, buddy. It was a good run. We'll see you next year. You're not going nowhere. So on to the game. So I got the game pulled up here. I'm going to quickly run through it. I honestly, when you look at the quarterbacks, Brady at home versus Buffalo, Breeze at home versus Atlanta, I mean, to me, that's kind of a wash. Brady's had, I think, 2 crappy games in a row, so he might have something to prove. And he also had a bad game against Buffalo a couple weeks ago. But other than that, I mean, I don't see the matchups providing any clear advantage there. Bell versus Gurley, again, I mean, they're both on the road versus relatively decent rush defenses, although I think Houston's pretty bad. But, I mean, Gurley, look what he did last week. So, I mean, to me, that's a wash. Like, you can say maybe a slight edge to Bell, just based on, the numbers. But, I mean, I'm going to say it's a wash. Hunt over Lynch. I got. Hunt's playing Miami. Miami's terrible. Lynch is at Philly, so they could be down a lot. They could be throwing a lot. And Philly's got a good run defense, so definitely an edge to Hunt there. AJ, you'd say AJ's projected over Dez, but the way AJ's been performing lately, you can't trust him. You can't trust him like you normally should be able to. But, I mean, I guess I give a slight edge to AJ there. I'm not... It's not a big edge, though, to me. It's not a big edge. Then you got Demarius versus Devontae Adams. Now, Devontae Adams is still in the concussion protocol, so there's no guarantee that he's going to play. And if he doesn't play, I wonder if Kenton's going to go off the bench for his off the waiver wire with Eli Rogers. I don't know who he's got planned, who he's planning to play in his stead if he can't go. We'll have to see what he says. But I got, if they're both playing, I think that the edge goes to Devontae. Even with Hundley behind center, he's been flourishing with Brett Hundley behind center. So, I think that's a slight edge to Devontae there. So relatively so far, it's pretty even. Hunt's got the advantage, clear advantage. Maybe a slight advantage for Bell. Maybe a slight advantage for AJ. But so far, it's pretty even. Then you got we're getting another nitty gritty. Ted Ginn, who's also questionable. But it looks like it's the same. It's nothing new there. Like he's been questionable for a couple weeks in a row now, so he should be playing. It's Atlanta, so if Atlanta's on their game, then it could be a bit of a shootout. But there's no guarantees there with Ted Ginn, and then you got Josh Doxson on the other side, who the same thing. Like that's a wash to me because you don't know what either guy. Either I could put up 20. Ted Ginn's more likely to. But I think I could put up 5, which Ted Ginn has been doing. Same with Josh Doxson. Excuse me. And then you got a clear advantage with Kelsey over Witten. Although Travis Kelsey he has an illness, but when healthy, that's a clear advantage. And then you're into the defense, so who knows, right? I mean, Sean Lee's banged up. Mario Addison. I don't know if this is the guys that he's going to be playing. I don't know who that is. But I'm going to give the slight edge to Kenton on defense just based on the production so far this year. And then kickers, you can't predict a kicker. So I actually give the projections are in about 8 points in Reggie's favor. But I actually give a slight edge to Kenton in my personal, just looking at it. Bird's eye view. Just looking at the well, actually, more like dissecting it. I just feel like there's a couple more advantages on that side of the ball than that side of the ball. Having said that, Bell could have 40, or Gurley could have 40s. It's impossible to predict. If you're asking me for a prediction, I'm gonna throw Kenton out there in a narrow victory. Having said that, my gut tells me that Reggie's gonna win this a little bit. Actually, that's a lie. My gut doesn't know where to go. I feel like Kenton has a slight edge. At the same time, I feel like Reggie's time. It's Reggie's time, Brady has a bad game against Buffalo a couple weeks ago, and he's gonna have a point to prove, right? Even though he's got nothing to play for, essentially. Well, they beat Pittsburgh, so I'm not exactly sure. I think they're a game up now for the number one seed. So they'd have to lose a game to Pittsburgh, and then they'd be tied, and then they'd still have that victory over them. So it's not like they have a ton to play for, but it's New England, man. That doesn't mean anything. So having said all that, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna guess Davante Adams doesn't play, and I'm gonna say Reggie wins this by 3 points, and it's going to be 152 to 149. There it is. Heard it first. Let's get the boys on the phone. All right. Let's get the sure thing on the phone first. Just doing a podcast here, Tara. Like mother, like daughter.
Hello.
Yo.
Am I live or what?
You're live, bro. You're live.
Oh, God. Not even a heads up, man.
I did. I texted you.
Oh. What's up, man? How's it going?
Nothing much, man. I'm just breaking down this game here, just breaking down this matchup. I'm sure like you've been doing pretty steadily for the last 48 hours or so.
Oh, yeah, no. That's all right. I don't sleep right now. Did you get a chance to get Kenton on tonight?
Not yet. He hasn't replied either. Why?
What a sack. What's up, man. Like, yeah, it's a big game. It's my first time in the finals. You know, I've been one and done the last couple of years off of bye, and it feels good. And I mean, mad props to Tubbs. Like, I cannot explain to you. I was literally on my knees when that field goal kick was going up right there for Tampa Bay to tie the game to go to overtime. That game goes to overtime. It's done. It's curtains. Curtains.
Well, he would have had to have another touchdown in overtime, but I see what you're saying. He would have had to have a touchdown in overtime to still win, but.
Well, don't be so negative. No, but anyways, long story short, I was done with that game. It was very stressful, and the whole entire experience is it's really bittersweet. Like, I mean, when you have Antonio, and that's what I said. I messaged on the group earlier on. I need that woman in the red dress from Game of Thrones, the one that helped out Mr. Snow to come through, and I just don't see that happening. So, you know, it's tough. It's bittersweet. Like, you know, you look at the projections of the game right now, and I'm not making any excuses, and there is absolutely no excuses. I feel he's going to be out with Devontae Adams. He's going to be out without him. And, you know, so it's may the best man win. The points, the margin difference for points lost, you know, I might have him a little bit on that, but, you know, at the same time, it's the playoffs. I made it healthy all the way to the finals. And unfortunately, the last week, you know, you get that, and that was a devastating blow. Obviously, when you get you know, the league MVP goes down, yeah, it was tough. But you know, you look at it, you know, glass half full approaches. You know, you get Bell. Bell's going to get more touches, and you know, it's going to be a more Bell situation. Anyway, sorry for rambling on. I'm sure you have some questions for me.
No, that makes my job easier. You've answered about 14 of them there, so that's good. But no, like I honestly I didn't write down any questions. I just figured I'd shoot the shit with the two guys and basically talk to the game. Like I'm looking at it like it's just so tight across the board now without Brown. I mean, you enter Brown into this for Ted Ginn. And it's almost like, okay, like Reggie's the clear favorite. Now that Brown is out, it really looks like an even game. I actually had a hard time picking a winner, and it's a pick'em game to me. It's whoever's star puts up 40 is going to be the team that wins the game, and it could be any number of guys on either team. You know, each of you have two or three guys that could drop 40, right? So
for sure. So a couple of things that I'm looking at that I need help with, like. I feel, you know, I'm hoping Kareem Hunt, you know, he's against Miami, so he's in a plus matchup. I'm hoping that he has, you know, an off game or something like that. I don't see it because I think KC, after that little losing 5 of 6 games, I think they kind of realized, hey, wait a second, we give this guy the ball while we're going to win games.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel that he's probably going to even get over his projection. Gurley, I hope Gurley, like, you know, blew his load last week, for a lack of a better word, and that he can be, you know, he's gonna be stay true to his projection. But I think he too could get a little bit over his projection. I'm thinking about the 21-22 point range. And then you got, which is a great game. You got Atlanta against New Orleans, and you got Breeze against the Atlanta defense, which I'm not too thrilled about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, it's a divisional game. It's one of those games where they can, you know, go to the run game, focus on the run game. I see that Tevin Coleman's banged up now also. So, anyways, I think, you know, I'm hoping Breeze goes a little bit under. I expect Hunt and Gurley to go a little bit over. Devontae Adams, I haven't looked at Roto recently, as in probably about 2 hours ago, but I'm thinking that he might actually get set down, which means I'm expecting Amendola or Eli Rogers, who he picked up. And you've seen that I had Eli Rogers locked up and picked up on the thing. And the reason I let him go into there is because I'm not going to tell you my true reasons why I let him go into there, but I think he's a risky play. He averages 2.7 yards a game. They have their tight end there, who Jesse James. They got Martavius Bryant, and they got Smith-Schuster, and of course they have Le'Veon Bell. I don't think Eli's is a smart play. So I kind of, threw it out there. If you want to start him, Kenton, go ahead. I wasn't going to do it because of Ted Ginn himself, who's banged up a little bit right now with a rib injury. He's expected back. If he can't play, I wasn't going to start Eli Rogers because I think Eli Rogers is a boom or bust. And when I say bust or boom, I say 9 points, boom, bust, 0 points.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. On defense, I see we're both toggling back defensive player after defensive player. At the end of the day, I'm going to go with the guys that I've rolled with to get me to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then the one question I do have is just like I'm watching Joe Mixon's status. And I'm serious. Giovanni Bernard, he gets the ball throwing, he gets you a PPR, and if he's the prime back, it's going to be a question I have against the Philly top-ranked run defense in Philly. It's going to be an obvious question, like, what do I do? So I'm watching Mixon also. I'm watching Devontae Adams to see what exactly his status is all about. I think he's going to be out, and I expect to see Eli Rogers or another person that's on the bench right now. But the difference between it's a 6-point difference between what he's going to be able to put in and what he has on the lineup right now with Adams in there. And then of course with unfortunately with Antonio Brown, it's he's the guy who's going to get you 22, 23 points a game, and I got a guy that's going to get 10 points a game, so I'm at a 13-point loss there. And but he gets bumped up a little bit by Le'Veon Bell. He's normally a 22.7, 22.6 point per game guy, and now he's bumped up to 25.7. So you get a little bit of love there. So you just got to kind of take those goods with the goods. The key to the game, and this is the absolute, without a doubt, key to the game for me, anyways, is I need Brady to come back to being Brady. Last week he had a good game. He was accurate. He made throws, but he only got me that 22 points. Like if I started Grapple, I wouldn't be sweating so much on Monday night. It's Brady, it's AJ Green, and it's Demaryius Thomas. And that's another situation I'm watching very closely is who's going to be starting at quarterback, Paxton Lynch or Brock Osweiler. And it's crazy to think I'm begging for them to start Brock Osweiler. Like because just he's rolling right now, and you bring in a Paxton Lynch who's scared of shadows.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hoping. So there's a lot of things I'm watching this week, and there's a lot of things that still have to play out. But a couple of things I keep an eye on right now is obviously Devontae Adams for him. His defense is average. I think I have a better defense than he does, and I see he moved his kicker around. I've rolled with Prater for the last 3 years. I'm very comfortable with that. I think Prater has a great matchup actually against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a ball control team, even if they're down 30 points. It's fascinating stuff. And then it's Brady. Brady needs to step up. AJ Green needs to have an AJ game.
Well, that's the thing.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, AJ Green can't be doing what he's done. AJ Green needs to have an AJ game. I need 23 to 27 points out of AJ Green this week. I need projected low is Demaryius Thomas. I need him to take that 12-point projection. I need that 12 points to turn to 17 to 20 points. I need Bell to take that 25-point projection. I need that 25-point projection to be closer to 31 to 32. I need Brady to as well. I need Brady to take his 26 or 27-point projection that he has. I need him to be around 30 as well. I need Witten to just be Witten. He's not going to do anything special for me, and I need my defense to show up. Ted Ginn Jr., he's a boomer bust guy. He's banged up, but you never know. Maybe I can get one of those games where he gets 14, 15 points out of it. And I need all this to happen together in order for me to have a shot, I think. And again, there's no excuses, no nothing. If Brown was playing, obviously it'd be great, but he's looking like he's without Devontae Adams. And it's going to be, and one other thing I expect also is I think Des Bryant's going to have a pretty decent game now that they have the option of the play action with Ezekiel Elliott back in there. Yeah. I think Dez's projection is probably a little bit low. So that's why I'm saying I need my guys' projections to be a little bit higher. I look at those projections right there, and I knew it was going to be close. I figured he was going to be projected before Monday night after I took down the champ. I figured that he was going to be projected to probably be beating me by about 3 to 7 points with the home field advantage. And then when I at 12:01, when I stayed up to check the projections, I seen that I was projected to narrowly win the match. I kind of looked at him and I took it with a grain of salt. I played no cards in these projections. This is literally a coin toss, and it's all very bittersweet without the league leader, the MVP. He's not in the game, so it's all bittersweet. But I think I have a chance to pull it out. And I've been talking to a couple of GMs, and they're just like, you got a shot. You got a shot. It's the two best teams in the league. Coming down to the final week, he has an injury. I have an injury. It's going to be. And another thing I was thinking to say actually also. Sorry for rambling on. Was that this week's playoffs is going to play out over 3 days because over the holidays. So you got games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mm-hmm. This is like a miniature golf tournament almost, if you will. It's like the PG instead of it's like the PG Championship Tour here. We got 3 days to stress about it. I got myself all set up for Christmas Day, where I'm gonna have a chance to see more bell. Christmas evening, I got myself set up with I'm going to my sister's house for Christmas and stuff like that. I've talked to her husband. He's gonna have the computer on, and he's gonna also have the TV set up downstairs, so I can sneak down there for an odd peek. But it's gonna come down to Marshawn Lynch, and depending on which defensive alignment I decide to play, I might have 2 guys playing on Monday night for all the marbles. So, it's exciting, man. It's like a little 3-day Christmas event and stuff like that. I kind of wish it wasn't Christmas. My wife definitely wishes it wasn't Christmas, but...
That's the nature of the beast, buddy. If you're playing this late into the playoffs, you're playing on Christmas, Mark. That's all it is.
I know. There's really no excuses, and it's super exciting. I think it's been a great season, and I think it was meant to be from the get-go. It was just me and Kenton, from all the trash I talked about, Humpty Dumpty sitting on his wall and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it's come playoff time, he breaks out and has 2 huge games, and now I'm up against good old Humpty Dumpty Hunt, and then Gurley goes off last week. I'm hoping
he looked good too, man. He looked nasty back there.
I know.
It looked like he took 2 steps and he was 8 yards, lunging forward. He looked good last week, man. I was ready. I'm about ready to trade my entire team for him right now. Like that.
I know. Just shut it down. Trade all 13 on your roster or whatever, and just go grab Gurley and stuff like that. Then you could fill everybody else from the waiver wire. It's not a bad idea. That's something actually you would do. Yeah. But no big deal. I think the 2 best teams made it, and kudos to everybody else who I think both had a really good season, and I think there's a lot of teams that are actually turning the corner. Like when you go to, I mentioned it before. I think in my division alone, I think both
Powers and Russ
and Powers, I think they're on the right direction. I think Briz might have something going with. He needs a lot of work there, but he has Drake and McCaffrey going. I think that's great for him.
Watch out for excellence next year. I'm telling you, man. He's got 3 firsts. And watch out for excellence next year. He's got 3 firsts.
I'm not watching out for him at all. There's no watching out for him. In fact, I'm going to shut my eyes right now for the rest of the conversation. There's no watching out for excellence. I'm sure he'll screw something up and just there's no watching out for him. He wasn't even on my list of people that I was going to give props to. Not even close to on the list. In fact, if there was a list and there was a back page of the list, he wouldn't even be on that. He'd be on page 4 or 7. But anyways, long story short is there's some
short story long.
There's some teams on the up and up. I think Hoff's squad is complete garbage also. But the thing with Hoff is you can't make a deal with him because he thinks that I don't even know the names of the guys on this team, but he's just like, oh, this guy's a god, man. Like, hey, guy's trying to trade Simeon for first.
Okay, you're getting off track here. You're getting off track. I'm going to have to stop you there, Kami.
Sorry.
You're getting off track. Okay, no, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in and then we'll wrap it up here. But honestly, I was talking about this before you were on the air, and I also feel like there's a behind the elements story to this game in that Tom Brady played a crappy game a few weeks ago against Buffalo. They're at home. I think he's got a point to prove. I think he could have a big game. I agree with the Lynch matchup. I thought that's an iffy matchup because they're going to be behind most likely. So how much Lynch are you going to see? And it's also a really good defense. But
Giovanni Bernard, Mixon, Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, and I mean that's a wash.
I'm watching it closely. Go ahead. Sorry,
but and then. Like it's not just Adams, but like Josh Doxson too. That's a big question mark, man. That guy, like, if he doesn't catch a touchdown pass, he's not a volume receiver. So
Guess who he's playing too? Guess who he's playing?
Yeah, I know.
Denver, and you know what? A couple years ago, I'm gonna let you go, but just one little thing is, a couple years ago when I was playing against Bulls in the finals, it was Tom Brady going against the Denver defense, and Tom Brady put up 12 points. And I'm looking for Doxson to have one of those performances against that Denver defense. I'm sure the tight ends and running backs will have decent games, but I like the Doxson matchup. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that I think that like with him, I don't even think it's matchup related. Like he's not a dependable guy, so he's down to 2 wide receivers. It's interesting that both of you have big high end guys. You've lost one of yours, and then at the wide receiver position, particularly the depth drops off for him as much as you, if not more, because I mean he's dressing as of right now, he's dressing Doxson, and then if Adams can't go, he's dressing whoever, Eli Rogers, and then you're looking at two very weak position players taking place right there, and then Travis Kelce's got some sort of illness, but they're saying he's probably going to play. I predicted a really close game. Ultimately, I feel like that it's a pick'em game on paper. I feel like if I had to pick, which I do, I picked you to win by 3 points. I feel like it's your year. And if you don't win this game, then I feel like it's going to be an exciting 2018 offseason. The blog especially will be very exciting. But anyways.
You know one thing, though. You say it's going to be an exciting offseason and stuff like that. I'll tell you the same thing I told you last year. I will return with the exact same team. The Antonio Brown injury was obviously very big and stuff like that. I'm not going to mix it up. I lost 2 games this year. One of the 2 games I lost was on a bye week for Brady, Bell, and Brown against Pollock. And the other game I lost was Russell Wilson playing out of his ass and putting up, I think, nearly 50 points or something like that against a dark horse Hammer squad. So there's not much that's going to change. I will point one thing out is next year I do have a first still available, and I will take a tight end that averages around 10 points a game, and I'll throw that first right at him right now, so you guys can PM me after the season, win or lose.
Well, I might be hollering. But anyways, I will. I'll let you go, and good luck, and congrats on making it this far. You've earned it. You deserve it, and best of luck, man. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas. I'll be talking on the blog.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, buddy, and Merry Christmas, and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Very stressful, but love you all, you guys. Fucking pure guts. Let's go.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Wow. That was a 20-minute conversation. That was a 20-minute. Reggie, hey, you got to give him the floor. Like he's laying it all out there. He's letting everybody. You can't stop that. You can't stand in front of that train. You got to let that go, and it's deserved. That airtime is deserved. My short podcast, that is out the window because that was a 20-minute conversation. So let's get Kenton in here while it's still Wednesday. Oh, yeah. What time is it? 7:10.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. What are you doing?
I'm just getting set to interview another finalist here. You got a minute?
Oh, wow. That's unexpected.
Did you not get my text? Maybe my text didn't get sent out. I was wondering why neither of you replied to me.
Hold on, just let me check right now.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You did send me a text 42 minutes ago, and I did not reply to you.
Oh. Do you have a quick minute or what?
I do.
All right, buddy. All right. Congrats on making it this far, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's definitely feels good to get my first finals berth for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brain because I haven't done any research for this podcast except for just looking at the game, and I was sure that you hadn't made it yet. So this is awesome. This is not only are we going to have our first, a new champion, but both guys' first time in the finals. That's pretty awesome. That's a sign of how the way the league's going.
Sorry?
That's a sign of how the league's going, like the parity that's being developed in this league.
Yes, I agree. It's even though, it's number 1 and number 2 in there this year. I don't think anyone could say that it was like a huge advantage over 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 were in it. There was a couple of dark horses, so yeah, no, it was good for sure.
Okay, let's jump right into the game here. I've got it pulled up. Tell me about the areas that you are excited about first, and then we'll get into what you're worried about. And it's probably pretty obvious, but maybe break down where you see that you have some advantages, and then after that, maybe where you are worried and about either team.
Yeah, like you said, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what my strengths and weaknesses are at this point if you have a quick look at my roster. And obviously, what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping for another couple of I don't know if they can replicate their numbers last week, but even somewhere close to that would be good for my running backs. And what I'm really hoping for is a big revenge game on a breeze against Atlanta. There, I'm hoping he comes out and lets rip a little bit to help make up for my weakness, which is going to be my receiving core. Travis Kelce, he does a lot to help that out to make up for the tight end position, but it's no secret. Devontae Adams, they still put him questionable. It's not looking good, and that's a huge blow because my depth at receiver is not very good right now.
Yeah. Who's next in line? Eli?
That's a good question. I don't know if I even know yet.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin's a guy I've had my eye on. You can always kind of go back to Danny Amendola or Torrey Smith, but both of those guys are good players, but you don't really know what you can get week in and week out with them at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Quick break for a sec. I got to get some... I got to help the daughter out here and wipe him.
Wipe that booty.
There you go. You got it? Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that not only Devontae being probably out, and then there's going to be a hole because there's not a lot behind him on the bench. But Dawson is a risky play too. Like he's been putting up some duds lately too. I guess you've got those 2 running backs. It's like you've got a big advantage there. I shouldn't say advantage because you're going up against Le'Veon Bell, but that's your strength, and you're going to need some big numbers out of those big boys up there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely hoping those guys keep it rolling because, if they don't, I'm obviously toast. I'm not going to be making it up anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to rely on the big guns up front. Those top three slots on my roster are the guys I'm going to be relying on this week for sure.
I'm looking at it like Buffalo played Brady very well in Buffalo just a couple weeks ago, and that could go both ways. That could be does he have, like, he's gonna Brady, he's gonna want to come out and just totally get revenge for that kind of crappy performance he had a couple weeks ago against Buffalo, or you could say that Buffalo maybe has a game plan that is effective against the Patriots. But I mean, he's got some question marks too. Obviously, with Brown out, he's got Ted Ginn in there right now. So I mean, I went through the game just position by position. And I actually gave you the edge at the end of the day because there was a lot of washes. I call Brady Breeze and their matchups. That's a wash to me. I can't say for sure that one of the others is going to have a better game. So that's a wash. Gurley and Bell, that's a wash. Hunt obviously over Lynch. AJ is projected over Dez, although the way AJ's been playing lately, and I just feel like Dez, that's to me is a wash, but AJ should be better. But you might give AJ a slight edge there, but to me, that's a wash. And then if Adams is out, that's an obvious edge for Damaris versus whoever you've got going there. Ginn and Doxson are probably close to a wash. Ginn is maybe more reliable. But I think that you do have an advantage on the defensive side. Sean Lee's been balling. He's been his normal self for the last couple of weeks, so that's maybe a wash. But your defensive / kicker for those 4 spots are there is an edge there over Reggie in my mind. But Reggie is projected to beat you. I think that these projections obviously is just a guideline to go by. But I ultimately I picked Reggie. I just felt like it's a pick'em game, and I feel like my gut is leaning towards Reg. Tell me, honestly, right now, if I'm going to put a gun to your head and you've got to bet a paycheck, are you going to win this game?
Well, I mean, I didn't. My analysis was kind of more of I just took the other approach of, well, if we were fully healthy, I think he has the edge. There's no weaknesses there, and he's without AB. I'm without Devontae. AB's better than Devontae, but I think their importance to our rosters is very similar. And so, obviously, then that being said, I would think, obviously, you got to give Reggie the edge, even though he loses a better player. It's that position that really does it for me. He gets to slot in Ted Ginn, who's no stud, but who's no slouch. And I'm kind of looking at, holy shit, who the hell do I start? Eli Rogers might even make an appearance this week.
You're sitting there going, man, why can't we play 3 running backs right now? That's what you're saying.
Oh, no doubt. Why did you not pass that rule 3 years ago?
So, with that being said, good luck this week, buddy. I'm happy for you. It was an embarrassing week for me last week, but it is what it is. That's the game. Yeah, the better team won, and I'm looking forward to a great matchup, a great finals. I think it could be an epic finals down to the wire, right over Christmas holidays here. So, good luck this weekend, buddy. And if I don't see you, have a Merry Christmas, buddy. I'm sure I'll be talking to you on the blog.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. And to Reg, you've been one of the few guys who haven't been Pollock-ing, so to say, the whole time, until the start of this week. And now he starts setting himself up to be the underdog. To make it look like if he somehow manages to win, then it's going to be this miraculous thing. So
you should have heard him in the interview, man. I have a chance. I think I have a chance.
I'm pretty much losing whether I win, or pretty much losing whether I lose. So, go ahead, Reggie. You can take that role. But anyway, to all the pure guts and to yourself, Fitz, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'll do my best this week. And we'll see what happens. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Catch you later.
See ya.
Great interviews. Good luck, boys. Enjoy the finals. Fist out.